Welcome. You are here to learn how to enhance women's full, equal, and meaningful participation in peace and political processes, which is an important aspect of your work in UN peace operations. We'll start with the background. We'll explore the results. We'll speak about your work. We'll look at a case study. We'll show how to measure the results. And finally, we'll offer questions that help you think about women, peace, and security to make a real difference through your work. The disproportionate impact of conflict on women and girls is widely recognized. But women also write another story, the story of agents of change. Beyond just surviving conflicts, women actively resolve them. Security Council Resolutions 1325 and subsequent resolutions affirm the important role of women in preventing and resolving conflict and stress the importance of their equal participation and full involvement in maintaining and promoting peace and security.
Women as a resource for peace builders is so tragically untapped because we would not be here, or at least we wouldn't have reached as far in the instability that we've got around us if we had actually taken the time to stop and listen to the women.
La résolution 1325 du Conseil de sécurité nous implique dans la gestion, dans la protection, dans la consolidation de la paix. Nous voulons être autour de la table.
Une femme a eu le courage de s'engager parmi les signataires de l'accord de paix. C'est une première dans le pays.
Any process or anything that needs to happen and work needs the opinion, the responsibilities, the needs of everyone that's involved in it.
Il faut que les femmes puissent jouer leur rôle et qu'on regarde la femme comme une citoyenne, une actrice de développement.
Plus les femmes sont nombreuses, plus l'impact sera grand, plus l'impact sera visible sur les conditions de vie des communautés.
Enhancing women's full, equal, and meaningful participation in peace and political processes is a non-negotiable priority of the Department of Peace Operations. This is outlined in the Secretary General's Action for Peacekeeping Initiative and his call to action on women transforming peace and security to peacekeeping partners to embrace feminist approaches to transform women's participation. The department's gender policy emphasizes women's full, equal, and meaningful participation in all international, regional, and national dialogues and in peace processes, formal and informal, including in negotiations. There is a wealth of proof that engaging women in peace processes leads to more durable peace. Peace talks, including women, are more likely to reach agreements, which are 35% more likely to last at least 15 years. Women promote dialogue, build trust, and bridge ethnic, religious, political, and other divides that drive conflict. Through grassroots networks of women leaders, peace builders, youth, politicians, and ex-combatants, women mobilize coalitions that bring people together for peace. Women's participation also strengthens peace and political processes in areas like security arrangements and protective environment and governance. It generates greater buy-in and strengthens inclusivity and accountability.
Ici à Gao, tout le monde était parti. Par exemple, les hommes, parce qu'ils avaient des difficultés. Donc les hommes étaient partis, laisser les femmes à elles-mêmes.
C'est elle qui peut aider à changer les mentalités et le comportement. C'est pourquoi nous avons initié ce qu'on appelle les cases de la paix. C'est pour que les femmes entre elles commencent à travailler, à communiquer, à se donner des informations, à élaborer des stratégies.
Nous avons des femmes arabes, nous avons des femmes tamashek, nous avons des Peulh, tout le monde. Donc avec cette plateforme, vraiment, ça nous a relevé de nos défis. On a trouvé un financement avec la MINUSMA, on a fait beaucoup de sensibilisation. Ça m'a permis d'être conseillère municipale parce qu'elle nous a formés sur le leadership.
You can add to this growing body of proof of the value of women's participation through these feminist approaches. Integrate gender and women, peace and security priorities into the mission's political strategy and good offices to ensure women are at the center of political solutions. Support conflict resolution efforts and mechanisms led by a diverse group of women at all levels. Invest in strategic partnerships with women leaders, networks, and organizations. For example, support coalition building, help define an agenda, and lobby for its inclusion in the peace process. Create partnerships with key actors for advocacy and support on women's participation. Encourage quotas for women in political bodies, including in negotiator, facilitator, and mediator teams. Allocate resources for integrating gender and women, peace and security into policy, program, or projects. Collect, analyze, and use gender data to enhance policy dialogue and advocacy, and to inform strategic planning and evidence-based decision-making. Ensure women's experiences, understanding, and expertise inform your work. Create space for local governments to consult with women leaders, grassroots networks, peace builders, and civil society. Build the capacity of women seeking to participate in peace processes. Where mandated, support efforts to promote women's full, equal, and meaningful participation in electoral processes. Taken together, these measures have the power to help secure lasting peace. Now let's look at a real situation in Central African Republic. In February 2019, women for the first time participated in the African Union-led peace talks, including having a woman ex-combatant as a signatory to the political agreement. After that, women engaged in the agreement's implementation mechanisms and mobilized as voters and candidates during the electoral period in 2020 and 2021. 46% of registered voters were women. This was boosted by high-level and joint political advocacy by the UN, the African Union, and other partners, along with the technical support from MINUSCA. The mission built strategic partnerships with diverse women leaders and created space to amplify their voices. We saw this in an election-related peace march, roundtables on women's participation in the electoral process, as well as media campaigns. Thanks to the mission's support, the country's electoral code now includes a 35% women quota on political parties' nomination lists. There's more to the story, though. In the end, less than 16% of the candidates were women. This shows that women's participation needs dedicated support, investment, and prioritization on a strategic level at all stages of the peace and political process. When you do that, you can sustain gains and build on them. There are many ways to measure impact. For example, look at the percentage of women in elected and appointed positions, including in national and provincial assemblies and in local leadership committees. Examine the percentage of women participating in peace negotiations and implementation mechanisms. Ask how many women are ministers out of how many ministers overall, and also ask how many women occupy leadership positions in political parties. Which national policies or action plans specifically target increasing women's involvement in state institutions via election, quota, or other process? There is much more information in the resource package. Let's conclude with questions for you to keep in mind. How has the overall peace and security situation impacted men and women differently? How is women's participation at all levels of the peace and political processes? What measures can we take to promote the participation of women?
Women have an equal right to speak with authority on the decisions that affect their lives. This is how we will ensure that decisions are inclusive and reflect the needs of the entire population. We need to work together with vision and determination to make equality happen. We must transform social norms. We must put in place laws and policies to support women in leadership, including special measures and quotas with ambitious targets, and do far more to appoint women to high-level positions. This is a job for all of us. I look forward to working with all of you to advance women's leadership, to achieve women's rights, and to build a future based on equality and dignity for all.
Promoting women's full, equal, and meaningful participation is a core priority of the Department and the United Nations, because women can drive political solutions and help achieve lasting and sustainable peace.